What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today's video is going to be the Q&A that I put out on my Instagram recently. I think I put it on my channel as well, and I've got a few questions to obviously answer. Thank you to everyone that asked all the different questions. They're so different, all the questions as well, so I'm looking forward to diving into them. Some are fitness related, some are travel related, some are personal related, so yeah, it's going to be great to obviously answer them the best I can. Obviously share as much information with you guys as I can. And got my Animal Kingdom mug just here. You see, I just made a black coffee. It's just gone midday. Usually I don't have sort of caffeine after them. However, these are decaf beans. So yeah, look at that. So you actually see that I've got quite a few Bean There series mugs. So, and there's obviously more to go and collect at some point. So those trips will be coming up as well. So there's many things to look forward to on this channel, as there's a holiday coming up in the next few weeks. And then there is New York coming up as well, which I'd have said on my last video, I think, maybe the video before, that I'm going with one of my mates now who's a content creator. So yeah, we've been great mates since school, you know what I mean? So it's been great to obviously plan that. And we have booked that hotel now, so I will probably say that on another video or whatever. But yeah, all the questions are here. I've got some on my laptop. I'll pop them in the screen as well, so you can see which ones I'm going to answer. But to be fair, there were so many different questions. Yeah, there was quite a lot of the same question. So I'll obviously just stick to one, but I'll answer it the best that I can, all right? So let's dive into them. So the first question is, which trips are you most looking forward to? So obviously you'll know from following me that, and if you don't follow my Instagram, I'll pop it on the screen here, so you can go ahead and follow my Instagram, as I'm always dropping different things on there. So which trip am I looking forward to the most? So currently I've got Tenerife coming up, which is a family trip. I've got New York coming up as well. I've got Vegas coming up. I've got Florida coming up. And there is a date in December where I might be able to do a little something. So I'm not too sure what to do then, but I probably will book another trip. But for those trips, which one am I looking forward to the most? I think I'm obviously looking forward to them all, but they're all so different. You know, like obviously Florida's Florida. Anyone who's watching this who's been to Florida, a lot of you will probably watching this will know what it's like. And Florida's certainly one that I think for a lot of people that haven't been, like I get it off my mates sometimes, like, why do you keep going back? But if you've never been, it's hard to describe. It's hard to describe to someone who's never been. You know, once you go, you'll get it. I don't think I've ever met anyone who has been to Florida and dislikes it. So I'm obviously looking forward to that trip because one, it's got a lot of great memories. Two, I wanted to move there. So obviously there's a attachment there. You know, obviously I wanted to move there. So Florida is obviously a place at home, you know, at heart. Like I was going years ago when I was a kid into my teenage years, and now as an adult, obviously I've been quite a few times. So that one obviously I'm looking forward to. But again, it's hard to pinpoint just one because they're all different. I'm just looking forward to them all. Like, you know, the family holiday, Tenerife is going to be great. Just to, you know, be with my nieces and nephews. Like, I haven't really spent a lot of time with those over the last, well, this year really, I would say. Certainly with a lot of personal things going on. So it's going to be good to get some good quality time with the family. And certainly over the last year, I'd say really connected closely with my family. So it'd be great to go on holiday, you know. Over the last sort of 8 months, they've been very close to me. And, you know, to go on this holiday is going to be great for that, you know. New York, again, it's just a fun one, like with my mate. Can't wait for that one. Honestly, it's going to be so sick. And then, yeah, Vegas again is with my poker friends, you know, so I can't wait for that. Like, there's no real highlight in terms of, like, the main trip. They're all just great, you know, like, and they're all places I've been to before, you know, and I like going there. So it's something that, you know, will I go back to these places again? Yes, you know. Vegas I'd love to go back to again already, even though I haven't been back. New York, exactly the same. Like, there's just all these places, but there's so many other places I'd like to go to. You know, when it comes to long haul as well, I managed to generate quite a few air mile points. So, you know, I have been looking at some other flights and potential places to go. So it'd be great to go and obviously go on other trips and stuff like that. But in terms of right now, these trips, yeah, there's not one that stands out more than the other, just because they're all stand out to me. You know, they're all coming at a good time, and they're all, you know, with different people as well, which is amazing. So yeah, that hopefully answers that, even though it's not an answer. So you've started a fitness page, but you're not getting any reactions to posts and unfollows. Any tips? So in terms of like fitness page or just general engagement, it's quite a hard one to give advice on because, you know, for me, my engagement is pretty solid, to be fair. It's not too bad. Some days it's not as good, some days it's quite high. If I'm honest, I don't really look at it. Like, I think if you're looking at it on that sort of front, you know, if you're not getting the reactions to posts and stuff like that, I wouldn't even worry about it. Like, I really wouldn't. I'd just say, do you know what? Like, if people don't react to it, cool, it's you. You know, you're building a profile for you. And, you know, people will follow you if they're interested in following along. Some people might not, you know. That's everyone. Everyone's different, you know. Like, if I take my own platform, for example, let's say Instagram, like, I have different people from different walks of life that will follow me. You know, they'll follow me for my fitness content. Some will follow me for travel. Some will follow me for barbering, even though I don't really post any barbering stuff anymore. But people that follow me currently will be from that. You know, if I'm being honest, my engagement probably wasn't that high when I was a barber. Even though when I started barbering, it was 15 years ago, it wasn't as popular as it is now. And Instagram was kind of maybe new then. I don't know if it was super new or what, but if I posted a haircut, for example, like, it would get a lot of engagement. And then the more the industry grew, the more people wouldn't really engage with it. It's a bit like fitness, really. You know, if I post something fitness related, like, not everyone will engage with it. If I post something travel, Florida, Disney or something like that, there might be a bit more engagement. But that just shows that my audience as such in my following are more engaged with that, you know. So, but that's me, you know. Some people have a fitness page, some people have different pages for different things. Like, for me, it's just that's me. You know, that's my profile. Like, whatever I'll post. So, you know, I think that's what my advice would be, is just do you. You know, don't worry about if you post something and someone doesn't like it, or don't worry if you don't, if say you post something, it gets more likes than the other. Like, don't look at it that way. I never look at it that way. I don't use even my platform as like this likable thing where I look at likes and stuff. I honestly, I just don't really care. I just post what I want. And I think that's the best way to be, is just be yourself. You know, just be transparent, be open, be honest. It's a bit like this video here. You know, there's a few questions that I'll be a bit more open and honest about, because that's me. Like, I'm not going to hide behind the camera. And people that have been following me for a long time will know I'm not scared to get in front of the camera and speak the truth, you know, and be honest. Of course, some things that are better left unsaid, you know. But at the same time, you have to be transparent and just be yourself. And if that's relatable to someone, great. Like, they'll engage with you. And if you're a coach or whatever, then, you know, you can always have the conversation of these people working with you or whatever. Like, but I think if you try to force it, it's never going to be you, you know. And there's a lot of coaches online that I do see that put out very similar content. I probably do similar content as well, but it's content that I want to put out, you know. I never ever have filmed anything and it's been forced. Ever. Like, I would rather just not film it, or do a post, or whatever it is, or even vlogging, you know, because I think one of the questions is about vlogging, so we'll get to that. But even with vlogging, like, just don't worry what anyone thinks, or it's you. Like, if you enjoy it, do it. If you don't enjoy it, you shouldn't do it anyway. That's how I look at it, you know. So just keep being you, keep consistent, you know. I think a good example of this would be for myself, Ghost. Like, Ghost, I literally plugged and tagged in everything for so long, you know, and like, there's absolutely nothing back from that. But it's just something I enjoy, you know, like energy drinks, supplements, stuff like that. Like, a brand I really like using, you know, and I would always recommend it to my clients. This is before I even started working with them. But I was just consistent with it, you know, just keep at it. Didn't care what anyone thought. Like, some people will probably think, why do you keep tagging them? Are you after something? It's like, no, I just enjoy the brand. I enjoy the products. And then over time, that consistency paid off, you know. Not that I even wanted it to go that way. It was more of just like a joke thing, you know. And eventually, yeah, they reached out, and then I'm obviously working with them. So, you know, I wouldn't overthink it. I would just literally just do you. And if people like it, great. If they don't, doesn't really matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm videoing here, some people will like to watch it, some people won't. I don't really care. And I think that's how most people need to be. You know, just don't worry about what others think. Don't worry about engagement. Don't worry about likes. Don't worry about posts. Just be yourself. And if you do that, then you're true to yourself anyway. You know, like, if I started posting things and I got more engagement by doing it, would I be true to myself? Probably not. Well, I wouldn't be true to myself. And then can I live my life like that? Probably not. Like, as a coach as well, you can be very controversial with many different topics. I'm just not bothered. Like, I think just be yourself, be truthful to yourself, be consistent, and over time, just keep posting, and eventually things will pay off. So, are you planning to visit Epic Universe when you go back to Orlando? Yes, absolutely. Like, I have seen so many people post there, and by the time I get there, it's old news. But like, do you know what? It's just a park that obviously needs to go. I need to go to. Like, I miss Florida so much. Like, I miss it so much. It's somewhere that obviously I've been to a lot, and again, like I mentioned earlier, like, it's a place I wanted to move to. So for me, there's always that emotional attachment there. It's a place that I'm going back, but would love to visit even more and potentially move. But yeah, visiting Epic is just going to be wild. Like, everyone I've seen that's been has spoke so highly of it. It looks amazing. I must admit, I haven't really watched many vlogs on it. Like, I must admit, I haven't really watched many vlogs recently, just because of work and life, really. So it's kind of fresh. I don't know too much about the park, which is good because I can go in and just enjoy it. I think I know there's a Starbucks as you walk in. I'm sure someone correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a Starbucks as you walk in, so obviously I pinpointed that straight away. But it's yeah, like, I think, obviously I'd be silly to not go back. Like, absolutely. So, or not go back. I'd be silly to not go. So yeah, obviously that's on the cards. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't even sorted out tickets yet or anything like that yet, but I will be doing that. And again, with the Florida dates, I've said that before. I'll say it again. It might change just because there's a few things coming up with work and ghosts and stuff like that. So that might have to change, but if it changes, it might even be earlier. So we'll see. I don't know. Like, but when I go, yeah, of course, Epic Universe needs to be visited, as well as all the parks. I cannot wait to get back over to Florida. So, have you completely ruled out a move to the US in the future? Expected you to thrive there. So I really appreciate that message, and I really do believe, like, would have thrived there. Like, honestly, the drive and the passion at that point to do that, to go that far, it was like I was hungry for that. And I'm like that with anything, like, I've opened up barbershops, coaching, stuff like that. I'm very, very hungry when it comes to that. But have I ruled it out now? Probably not, no. Like, I would address it again. I think the thing is, we went through so many stages, and to the day I'm filming now, it still hasn't actually finished, like, the visa process, because the visa we were going through the visa we were going for was an E2 visa, and you have to basically open a business there. And I've still got the business account, and you have to do like a whole year's tax return to close your business. So I mean, I could keep it open, but then you just have to do a return every year, and I don't know when I'll be going back to maybe addressing moving. So that might be 5 years time. It might be a year's time. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen in my life. So the best thing to do from this front is close it, and then obviously address it again when the time comes. But by then, it might be a different visa I can go for. Like, an E2 visa at the time just made sense. I very much wanted to move, start a business, and then build from there. Something I was very, very hungry for. Something that you need to invest into as well, which I'm happy to do. So that really, I know the motion, like, and I think I'd be a bit quicker at it now. As last time it was such a head mess. Like, there was so much paperwork to do, so much, and traveling there and doing bits like. Yeah, like, when I think about it, it's obviously, I'm obviously still gutted, like, but can I address it and do it again one day? I like to think so. I think the support is crazy with that. Like, so many people were behind it, and so many people were gutted when obviously the withdrawal happened. But yeah, like, will we address it again? Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't, like, the UK is great. I love being here. This is home. Like, it always will be home. But can I go down that route again and do it again? Like, 100%. Like, I'm not scared. Because I just think, well, if you are thinking it, and I don't want to leave this planet and think, what if? Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously the process that I went through before was a long process, and it got very, very far. And obviously there's a few unfortunate things that have happened, before that and after that, that have led to where we are right now. So, it's a hard one to answer. My heart says yes. My mind right now is like, no, you just need to, like, have some stability here and obviously go from there. So it will be addressed again. Like, it's not done. Like, that book is not closed. 100%. Like, if the right opportunity come up at the right time and I was in the right situation, then I probably would think about it. But it's a big process. Obviously I've got Rosie, got businesses here. There's a lot to consider, and these are all things that were set up and put in play before I even applied for it before. So I'd have to go through that whole motion again. But would I do it? Absolutely. So another question is, have you always been so positive? If not, how do you change your mindset? So, I'm not that positive every single day. Some days are negative. It's just basically motivation, really, isn't it? Like, some days you'll be up, some days you'll be down. I don't know. It's just I've got a very positive mindset. I try and look at the good in everything. I try to make sure that I'm doing what makes me happy every single day. Working, being with Rosie, training, working with clients, talking to staff in the barbershop. I just do things that make me happy every single day. And if they make me happy, then I can't be negative, And I've said this before in videos before, and, I'll say it again, is every day we wake up, you have the ability literally to plan how you want to feel that day. Like, if I wake up negative, then I'm going to, I need to turn that into positivity. Otherwise, my whole day is just going to drag, So it's very important that, motivation will come and go, but that positive mindset is just there. I think for some people it's hard to find that, and I get that. But, to be as positive as I probably am, it's because I do things that I enjoy every single day, and I want to do those things, If it was different, if I weren't a coach, or say I was working somewhere or whatever, and it was a bit of a drag, I'd find it very hard to be positive. I might still be positive, but the fact that I get to be able to do most things that I want most days, that obviously helps. That's the position I'm in. So it's just being positive. It's a hard one to answer, really, if I'm honest. I haven't always been super positive. I think, really, and actually just going through, there was another question actually, which was very similar to this. How do you stay so positive and focused when you have difficult periods in your life? So that was another question. So it's obviously very similar, but that brings me on to what I was going to touch on, is those difficult periods in your life. So obviously a very difficult period has happened over the last year, but that's not just the only difficult period I've had in my life. I'm 35 years old, and there's been some difficult periods, and that's not me wanting someone to play a violin for me or anything like that, but these lessons, they do teach you. There's been many things that have happened, from a kid, I grew up on a council estate, so it was fun. I absolutely loved it. But you learn a lot of things, with the locals and your mates and all those different things. They put you into a position where if you think negative, it can be very negative. If you think positive, you can pull away a little bit. And that's what I wanted to do. As a kid, some of my school friends would go down the wrong route. And I very quickly realised that's not the route I wanted. So for me, it was just keeping positive and keeping doing things that made me happy, not doing things to make other people happy. And that was the difference, really. So that's probably where it comes in, those periods of life that are tough, they teach you, they're your lessons, for me, I'm very happy learning those negative times. I'm very happy being in those positions. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, like I am, because I just know long term that helps me out anyway. So, there's been so many different periods of my life that have been difficult, I think I posted this recently as well about, I was in the barbershop one day, and I was cutting one of my customers' hair, and then, 2 days later, I read that, he took his life. And, things like that hit home for you. You start thinking, do you know what? Wow, life can change very quickly, We had it recently at our gym we go to. One of the guys that was a member there, Lee, he passed away, last week, and he was a big presence in the gym. Not only because he was 6'7" or whatever he was massive. But again, moments like that, they hit you hard, and then you have to change your outlook. You have to, because you can be so down some days, and negative and worry and stuff like that. But you need to keep as positive as possible. And these lessons that we're taught, they do help you. They do help you really. To put things in perspective and to know where you want to go with things. But yeah, unfortunately for some people, some of the lessons are very, very harsh, and I would say for myself, some have been very harsh, some have been obviously not wanted, some have been easier lessons, I'd say, but they all build up. So, these lessons are crucial, really, I'd say, for you to have the mindset you have and to be as positive as probably what I am personally, Again, I look at the good in everything, and I look at the good in everyone, like I really, really do. And some of the lessons that I've had or I've seen and stuff like that, I've never wanted. But reality is, like, if you zoom out, these are just all things that are teeing you up to be the person you are and giving you the strength to be the person you are. So, that's how I look at it, and that's probably how I stay so positive. So if I wasn't a fitness coach, what would I be doing instead? So I'd be barbering every single day. Like, I love it. They're both obviously my jobs. So it's kind of a weird one, really, like how it happens. So, I left school. I did a sport and exercise science course at college, and then on the side I did a level 2 gym instructing course. I did that as a home study, and when I was doing both of those, I come out of them and I don't know if I was that happy with them, really. Like, I weren't too sure. I think at that age you're not too sure what you want to do. So then my older brother, both my older brothers, one of them owned a barber shop, and he said, look, do you want to come and work with us? So I'd go in there, I'd have a laugh. I used to go in there on like Saturdays and just sweep up and like make teas and stuff like that. And then they were like, do you want to come and work with us? Do you want to be our apprentice? I was like, yeah, go on then, let's go. Let's see what it's like. So I'd done my sports science course, I did my gym instructing course, and then I was like, right, let's go be an apprentice in a barber shop. So from there, I just loved it. Started cutting, full time after like a year, I think it was. Absolutely loved it. Worked there for about 5-6 years. And then it got to the point where, I had the conversation with my older brother, which is hard because when you work with family, it's very difficult. But it was something that I was saying, I want to go and do my own thing. And then I left. I then went to work with my business partner now called Mark. I went and worked with him for a little bit in a brand, like in a franchise brand. It wasn't actually a franchise at the time, but Mr. Barbers. So I went and worked with him, and after like 2 months, I think we said, should we open a shop? So we went and opened the shop. At the time, again, it weren't like a franchise at the time. It was more like I suppose it technically was, but yeah, like a brand that would work in our store, help us with the setup, help us with the website, booking systems, all that. So that worked really well at that point. So from there, it just made things a lot easier because there was a lot of things I was doing in my own life then. Like, I was doing a little bit of gym instruction and stuff like that, as well as not really, like, I don't know if I was going through a spell at that time, but I was like, do I enjoy doing this? Do I not? I think I was just hungry for something else, not just cutting hair. So when the business side came along and we opened our first shop, I absolutely loved it. And then I think it was about a year later, we went and done another one. And then we ended up opening four shops together, which is great. We actually opened one just before COVID. And then during COVID, we had to close the shops as we weren't allowed to go into the shops and cut hair. So that is when I then said, I'll do my level 3, my personal training. So I did that as a home study course as well. So I finished that, took on clients while the shops were shut, and just done online coaching from there. So it was quite nice, when I was going through the transition of being a barber apprentice, going through an apprenticeship, doing a little bit of gym instructing, and then going into barbershop ownership. That was great, and I probably would have just carried on doing that. So to answer your question, that's probably that is what I would be doing. But then COVID came, and it was just an opportunity, really, I'd say, for me to carry on with that sort of studying, whereas before I didn't bother, just because I was busy with the business side of things and cutting hair. So, but yeah, it was a great opportunity to do that. Took it on board, took some clients on, and here I am today. Which is mad. So, and now I do that full time. Like, I do go in the barbershop and cut like every other Friday. I do miss it. Like, I miss it every single day. Really, I miss that human interaction. Like, when I'm working on my laptop, like, it's still like I chat to clients and stuff, but it's very different when you are with that human interaction every single day. And I think that's another one, like I even touched on earlier about being positive, is like being a barber. If anyone's watching this and you're a barber or a hairdresser, or you work in like an industry where you are facing customers every single day, you get to learn how people are, and you get to understand mannerism, and you get to understand how to talk and how to relate to certain people. As a barber, like, I'd get, young kids come in and cut their hair, and they'll talk about Xbox and FIFA and stuff like that. and then I could get a 56-year-old guy who's coming in, who's run successful businesses, you know, and you get all different walks of life, you know, like, and it's the same with coaching, really, like, you know, you get all different walks of life, you know, like some people join me, I'll get some clients join me as coaching, like, who are multimillionaires, you know, and I've done that in the barbershop. They've come in and, like, you know, but, you know, it's holding a conversation with these people, you know. I've cut footballers and stuff like that. Like, sometimes it's very overwhelming, you know, certainly when you're young, but as you get older, you start to learn how to adapt to certain conversations and what to talk about and stuff like that. Obviously, it's very nerve-wracking, a bit of a crazy field. It really, really is. But yeah, I think, you know, to answer your, like, this has been a long-winded way around answering this. I would just be barbering. Yeah, I would. If there's anything else I would like to do, what would I like to be? Probably a footballer. That'd be great. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? My brother-in-law, he used to be a footballer, actually, so it was always good going to watch him and have a few chats and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, maybe a footballer, but I'm definitely not good enough for that. Maybe a basketball player, but I'm definitely not tall enough. So hey, I'll stick to coaching and barbering. So what is your favourite Florida snack? So what is my favourite Florida snack? Obviously, there's loads of snacks to enjoy. In fact, I did a post the other day with all Florida snacks. So some of you watching this might have seen it. And I don't think my favourite snack was actually on there. My favourite snack, like, is definitely one, like, 1,000,000%, is the sugar cookie sandwiches, like the little sandwiches. They are just unbelievable. I would do anything to have them right now. Like, I would. I've had friends, actually, Ellie and Mitchell have just come back. They asked me what I wanted, and I was like, no, nothing. I'm going to Tenerife, like, in 16 days or whatever it is. 20 days? I can't remember. I was like, don't get me anything. And I wish I'd just said to him, you should have got me them, you know. But that's probably my favourite snack. Like, I know there's loads of other snacks, and for some people they'll think that's crazy because that's just like a little cookie out of a supermarket. But it's so good. Like, they are the best things ever. Like, they're better than the actual sugar cookies, in my opinion. Like, the sugar cookies now, like, they're old news. Like, no one cares about them anymore. Of course they're good. Like, don't get me wrong. But are they the sugar cookie sandwiches? Absolutely not. So, yeah, that is my favourite snack, like, hands down. If I was to think about my favourite restaurant, what's my favourite restaurant? Or not even my favourite restaurant. What am I looking forward to the most? I've gone right into, like, chicken tenders again recently, like, with a few takeaways. So probably like a Raising Cane's, just because you can't get it here, you know. So I'll probably get one in New York. Well, we'll get one in New York, because my mates never had one, so we'll get one there. Raising Cane's are just fancy, like, for a takeaway, quick bit of food. Actual sit-down restaurant. Is there any I crave right now? You know what? I had a thought the other day. Like, I've done Sebastian's years ago at Caribbean Beach Resort, Disney, and I just, for some reason, fancy that. Like, I really do. Like, family style, sit down, loads of food, like, absolutely smash through it. Like, I'm looking forward to maybe doing that. Hopefully that could be the case. We will see. But yeah, like, I don't really, there's so many restaurants, like, you know, let me know your favourite restaurant. Let me know your favourite snack. In fact, I think if there's a snack that you know I haven't tried, if you've been following me for a long time, you'll know which snacks I probably have tried. But yeah, please let me know if there's a snack you want me to try, because I will try it, like, hands down, you know. I actually would like to do, like, an eating challenge. I watch a lot of Beard Meets Food, like, in my spare time. The only YouTube I watch at the bit is Beard Meets Food. I absolutely love it. And there's some challenges on there, and he done one at Celebration. He done, like, a bagel one, and I can't remember what this place was called, but, like, well, he didn't finish it, so there's no chance I do. But the bagels looked amazing. So obviously you got Downtown Diner there. You've obviously got your Starbucks and stuff like that, and then there's a pizza shop there as well. I think it's a pizza shop. I'm sure it is. But there's actual snacks there that I'd like to try as well, and they look amazing. So yeah, if there's any snacks you think I should try, let me know. But if I just had to just pick one, if I had to have one in front of me right now, it's going to be the sugar cookie sandwich. Like, it absolutely would be. Like, I would absolutely smash through the 6, or I think you can get 12. Like, I'll just make my way through to 12, to be fair. So yeah, that would be my go-to snack, or my best favourite snack. Right, so this one is it better to use weighted machines? Is it better to use weights machines, cable machines, dumbbells, or barbells? There's not one that is better than the other, in my opinion. Well, there will be, to a degree. However, it depends on your level of experience. So, for example, if you're going to go in and do dumbbell curls, like bicep curls, yeah, like you might feel uncomfortable doing that. So maybe it would be better for you to go onto a weight machine, you know, or a cable machine, just because then you haven't got to, you know, worry about form, technique, etc. because the machine is there for you with that. Anyone that, I think the best way to answer this question is there's no wrong or right, but there's an easier approach for who you are depending on your level of experience. So if you are new to the gym, I would not expect you to go in there and be throwing dumbbells and barbells around. Like, absolutely not. Like, go in there and get used to the machines. You know, it's going to be something that you can build up your form with, you can build up your confidence with, and then over time you can progress into dumbbells, into barbells. So I would say weight machines are just going to be ideal for, you know, a beginner, but also saying that, even if you're experienced, like I use some machines as well. So again, it's a hard one to actually answer. There's no wrong or right. There's no better option. There will be better options for you based off your experience level. That's how I look at it. But look, when it comes to building muscle, losing fat, etc., like, you know, sorry about my squeaky chair. When it comes to building muscle and, you know, losing fat, stuff like that, there's not one that's actually going to accelerate that more than the other. Like, there's going to be movements that will probably accelerate some growth, but, you know, in terms of growth, it's not just going to be the gym anyway. It's going to be your diet. You know, if your diet's not on point, then, you know, when you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, it's kind of like, it's kind of irrelevant. Like, it really, really is. I don't look at the gym, yeah, as something that you go into burn calories. Like, if you go into the gym genuinely, look at your watch when you leave and you've burnt 500 calories, it doesn't mean you had a good session, like, at all. And your wearable's inaccurate anyway, like, by quite a lot, depending on the brand. So I never look at the gym as something where you go to burn calories. Of course, you can go and do your steps, stuff like that. Cool, whatever. But it doesn't really, like, don't look at the gym as like this calorie tool, this calorie burning tool. Like, the gym is there for you to get stronger. It's there for you to build muscle. And if you do all that, you're going to boost your metabolism. You're going to build strength. You know, you're going to be a healthier version of yourself. And essentially, if you build your metabolism up, you're going to be able to eat more food, and, you know, a deficit's not going to have to be as harsh. So there's many benefits to lifting weights or hitting machines or cables or whatever. But I don't look at that as like a calorie, again, burning tool. Calorie burning tool, realistically, you need to find that in your nutrition. Like, if you're trying to build muscle and you're not fueled right, you're not going to build muscle. If you're trying to lose fat and you're fueling incorrectly, you are not going to be able to lose weight. I mean, even if you're not fueling enough, you'll probably lose weight. But again, that's a whole nother conversation. Losing weight, losing fat, two different ball games. You know, so it's finding that area for you that works and being consistent with that. Again, everyone's so different. But when it comes to the actual physical training side of it, there's no right or wrong, but there's going to be a more beneficial one for you individually, depending on your experience when it comes to the gym. So what's your thoughts on Joe Wick's killer protein bar? So this is quite a hot topic at the minute, I've seen, and I don't really look into it in too much detail. Like, basically, it's a protein bar. Like, Joe Wicks is quite clever with stuff like this. Like, it'll be marketed well. Like, either way, Joe Wicks will be making money out of this. Like, that's just what he does. So that's no like direct like hate towards Joe Wicks. Is amazing, like, it really is. But he's a very good businessman as well. So, but when it comes to this, yeah, when you're looking at protein bars and stuff like that. Protein bars, like, some people label them as bad food. Like, I don't look at them as good or bad, really. I look at them as just convenience food. Like, so when you're out and about and you're trying to hit your protein throughout the day or whatever, and you need a snack or you need something to do that, great, that's going to be fantastic. Like, protein bars are absolutely ideal if you are struggling to hit those numbers. Would I recommend the protein bar over, you know, a more nutritious meal as such from Whole Foods? Let's say chicken breast and rice, for example, and veg. Would I recommend that over that? No, of course I wouldn't. However, it's not always easy to have the whole foods, the more nutritious foods. So if you're supplementing it, or if you're substituting it for something like that, and it's something that's very easy for you to get into your day, if it stops you coming away from your program to then have, let's say, like a Kit Kat or just a chocolate bar, then I would do it. You know, for me personally, how often do I have a protein bar? Probably like once every 2 weeks. I look at it more as a treat. Like, but I'm not bothered. Like, I have more probably time to make those foods. I have more, you know, a meal prep and stuff like that. So for me, it just makes sense. That's where I'm at with that. But I do believe, like, there's nothing wrong with these bars, regardless if it's Joe Wicks's, Grenade, Ghost, whatever it'll be. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's a protein bar. You know, you could go into the deep details of like the actual ingredients used. I completely get that. But if I'm being completely honest, like, that wouldn't even bother me. Like, it really wouldn't bother me. Like, as long as you're not slamming them every single day, but if it's something that you slam because you know it's going to keep you true to your plan and your program and something that's going to help you get towards your goal, then absolutely have it in. You know, there shouldn't be. I don't look at foods as good or bad. Like, I look at foods as more nutritious, less nutritious. Like, I just spoke about chicken tenders. Like, what's better for me, chicken breast or chicken tenders? I know which one tastes better. You know, it's about balance really and finding what works for you. Like, I'm just not. I don't think anyone should do that. You know, because then you start to look at foods in such a negative light. You know, and then you start to paint this picture of this is good, this is bad. I can't eat this because I'm trying to lose weight. I can't eat this because I'm trying to build muscle. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, I think you just have to. Of course, it helps when you understand more about things. I completely get that, but at the same time, like, I look at any protein bar or a protein shake or a protein cookie. It's something that you can go for if you don't have time, it's convenient, and if you've missed a meal or whatever and you want to top yourself up, go for it. Or you fancy that sweet, that sweet tooth craving, if you want to give into that and that's there, have that over something else, That is how I look at them, really. I don't think there's anything wrong or, like, there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing, too bad with any of these, in my opinion. Like, they're just there and they're there for convenience. That's what they were designed for, convenience. They're not something that I would smash every single day. Absolutely not. Because I'd rather get more nutritious foods into my day, whole foods and stuff like that. Because for me personally, I feel better that way. Like, everything seems to be better. My performance, my recovery, even my sleep, my digestion, all these things are improved because I go for those foods. But if I have a protein bar, it's not going to throw me out. So yeah, just to answer that, really, what do I think? Let me just get up again. So my actual thoughts on the Joe Wicks killer protein bar. Whether it's Joe Wicks or Joe Blogs, I don't care whose name's on it. Like, it's a protein bar, So of course, some protein bars will have better value, in my opinion. And for me, in my position, I'd be able to read that and identify that. But yeah, it's a protein bar. I wouldn't lose sleep if I missed it. But if it was really nice, like the Ghost ones, then they're good to slip into your day if you are struggling to hit your numbers. So this is going to be the last question. Okay, so just because I've been recording this for a while, what's your top tips for anyone starting to do travel vlogs? Well, it doesn't actually say that. I'll put it on the screen. What's your top tips for anyone starting travel vlogging? So what are my tips? Pretty much what I said earlier about making content. Just be yourself. Like, don't try and be someone else. Like, I see this a lot with vlogs and stuff like that, and it's probably why I don't really watch vlogs at the minute, because a lot of vlogs I watch are quite same. They are quite samey, like, they really, really are. There's obviously vloggers that I enjoy watching more than others, because that's natural. We all have that, but it's very much the same. Like, and I think over time, you want to maybe just be unique or just be different. But I think that the only way that works is just by being yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you see so many vloggers, they'll rock up at Florida, they'll go to Walmart and do all that, and I get that. That's cool. But if you genuinely are doing that because it's you, do it. Whereas if you're doing it because everyone else does it, you're not actually on holiday for you anymore. You're on holiday for everyone else, and you're recording for everyone else. And I think that's what happens with vloggers at times. You start doing what everyone else does because you feel like that's the right way. The only right way is your way, like, because that's true to you. Whenever I've vlogged in the past, it's always been what we want to do. Like, because actually when you start vlogging as well, people request a lot of things. Like, so a lot of people would message and be like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But it's like, I don't want to do that. Or can you record this? Can you record that? No, like, because this is our holiday. Like, we will record whatever we fancy recording. So we'll always be true to ourselves. And, when you start vlogging and, like, you build a channel, and some people watching this will know, when you start building up a channel, and I get this as a coach, people then start offering you other things, like, put this advert in your video or whatever. Like, and that's fine. You can do that if you want to. I completely get it. But then you have to ask yourself the question, are you true to you? Like, by doing that, it's one of these ones, isn't it? It's very difficult. Like, I like to think, when it comes to vlogging and stuff like that, when it comes to vlogging, there's no real top tip. Like, there is a top tip. My top tip, just be yourself. Don't try and copy anyone else. Don't try and do everything that everyone else does, because, like, chances are everyone's seen it anyway. But, you know, even if they have seen it and you want to do it, still do it. Do it for you. Don't overthink it. You know, sometimes I get people reach out to me and they're like, I'm vlogging Florida, I'm going to do this. I ain't seen anyone else do it. Okay. Are you doing that because why are you doing that then? Like, do you actually want to do it? Genuinely. If you want to go and do it, go and do it. But if you're doing it because no one else has viewed that and you feel like that's going to be something that you can get your views up or whatever, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, you 100% are. Like, if you get to that top level of vloggers that they're making unbelievable money and stuff like that. And by the way, vlogging, like, it's not the most it's not even crazy money. I think people think like you can earn loads on it. Yes, you can if you hit the top level. But again, that depends on everyone else. Everyone's so different, I know. But from my experience, you know, vlogging is, don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to record things you don't want to record. If you don't want to film something, don't film it. If you feel like the camera is forced, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you know, unless it's your job. If it's actually your job, then you're doing it. But I can guarantee this, people that vlog at that level and it's their job don't enjoy it as much as they used to. 100%. Like, you know, because over time, it's like anyone in any job, you know, over time it becomes, you know, there'll be days when, you know, I'll be in the barbershop and I won't really want to be there. There'll be days when I'm coaching and I'll think, oh, my head's not really with it today, you know. That's just life. That's the way work is, you know. And that's what happens with vlogging, is if you go down that route and you take it to that next level, you can then fall into that area of work. And if you're into that area of work, the love for it will drop naturally. So it's about keeping that there, you know. And I find this with coaching, barbering, even vlogging. You do you. Because the moment you start doing things for others, you're not being yourself anymore and you're not doing it for you anymore. And if you're going to Florida and you're filming a holiday for people to view it because they like seeing that and you deep down don't, you are doing it wrong. And I can promise you, you won't be happy. You know, because, you know, I've spoke to people that are like that. Have I ever filmed something and it felt forced? No, because I'm just that probably stubborn. I'm like, if I don't want to film something, I won't. And actually going back on old vlogs, like if you watch them, there's actually a lot we never used to vlog. Like in the rooms and stuff like that. And there's a lot between like rides and stuff. Like, there's loads, like, you know, and actually it's a small percentage of the time, I would say, you probably are on the camera. Like, some vloggers will film for hours. I don't know how they do it. Like, you must just have the camera out constantly. And for me, that is a job. That's not why you started vlogging. But again, if it's someone's job and they enjoy it and that's that's their income, then by all means go and do it, you know. But my top tip is just be yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare your views to others. Don't compare your channel to others. Like, you know, you end up in this vicious place where, you know, YouTube then starts to become the new Instagram, where you're comparing your physique to other people, where you're comparing your job, your journey, your income, like all your family or your friends or whatever. Like, you'll start comparing it, you know. Whereas if you do that, it ends up in a vicious place. Like, it really does. So yeah, just be true to yourself. If it's something you enjoy, do it. If you don't enjoy it, then I wouldn't even bother doing it. Like, because it's like anything, isn't it? If you do something that you dislike for a long period of time, chances are you won't end up doing it again. You know, it's like me writing a training program for a client that joins me who hates the gym. They've said, Tom, I want to do home workouts. And I say, no, we're not doing home workouts, doing gym workouts. If I write a 12-week program for someone there, they go to the gym, like, I reckon by week 3 or 4, they'll just dislike it. So why do it? You know, if they want home workouts, write them home workouts. That's what they want, you know. So just always be true to yourself, and that's the main thing, you know. Just be transparent, be true, and the rest will fall into place, I like to think. So yeah, they are, I mean, there's loads more questions, but I've obviously waffled on, and I do probably want to film another vlog in the next couple of days. Got some Ghost protein bars land, as we were talking about protein bars. It's reminded me, I got some protein bars by Ghost, and I want to try them, and I want to try them on YouTube. So, and the countdown is on. Obviously, Tenerife is coming in very quick. Whether I vlog the travel day or not, or might just vlog there, I'm not too sure yet. I will see. But New York, obviously, that's the big one. Like, that's the one that will be vlogged. Absolutely everything will be vlogged there. Like, I cannot wait to go and do it. Like, what a place. Like, unbelievable. So yeah, looking forward to that one. But yeah, that is the Q&A. There is some questions that were quite direct, and not that I'm avoiding them. I will answer them probably another time. I might do another one. This might be a part 1 because there were so many other questions. But there's some questions that were quite direct. There was some that were just weird. um, yeah, like there was some strange questions, but there was some good ones there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those ones that I shared anyway. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. Look, again, so much content coming up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like, subscribe to the channel will mean a lot. And obviously, look, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment on this video. Comment your favorite snack that you think I need to try when I go to Florida. And, you know, the Florida dates, etc., will be confirmed very, very soon. You know, and there's a couple of surprises for that. And I'm so excited to share it. But yeah, until then, obviously, I'll just have to leave you guys hanging. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully, you're doing well, and I will see you guys in the next one.